Jadav is back at it here to give everyone another Eminem related video. As on February 3rd, 2020, I did a ranking of all Eminem's major studio releases. It was a top 10 list at that time period. Since that time, Eminem has dropped another album, and this time I waited a little bit longer to do this video simply because I couldn't make my fucking mind up. So many things changed, and I don't know. And I'm sure things are going to change again. It depends on what day you ask me. But as of right now, these will be my top 11 favorite Eminem albums of all time. A couple things that you should know. This is going to be my list. My specific list. My opinion. Probably not yours. Make sure you leave yours in the comments section. Don't be hostile. We all have different opinions. Also, I'm not going to include Infinite because that was an underground album, not a major studio release. And also things like the Re-Up, the D12 albums, Bad Meets Evil, those won't be included as well. So what you're going to see or hear here are the 11 major Eminem studio releases. Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show, Encore, Relapse, Recovery, Marshall Mathers LP 2, Revival, Kamikaze, Music to be Murdered by Side A, Music to be Murdered by Side B. Those 11 albums. I think I named 11 there. So before I get into my top 11 list, I just want to mention some songs that I really like that aren't on Eminem albums, but they should get some sort of notoriety in this particular video. I Need a Doctor. I love that particular song. It was supposed to be on a Dr. Dre album, and then Dr. Dre decided not to do it. And it was just essentially a single that was released, had an awesome music video, and I really like that song, and it's definitely one of my top 10 favorite Eminem songs of all time. Also, Homicide, featuring Logic. If you haven't heard that song yet, pause this video and listen to that song. I know it's not on an Eminem album, but it is dope as shit. And lastly, I'm sure everybody has heard this particular song. It was the response from the song that MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, did called Rap Devil, Kill Shot. Really like that one. So I Need a Doctor, Homicide, and Kill Shot. 3 songs that I just had to mention that I really like. So let's start the list off. Coming in 11th place, my least favorite Eminem album, one that I don't really like, but I do like a few songs, Relapse. It had a different sound to it. He had all those strange accents, and I really hate the first 15 songs of the album. Now, the album ends with a couple good tracks. I really like Underground. I really like Beautiful. And I also like, to a certain degree, Crack a Bottle. Now, if you include the Relapse Refill that had bonus tracks, then I would have to put Forever on that particular list of my favorite songs from the album. But as it stands right now, I'm not going to include that. I'm just going to go with the initial release, which was Relapse. Not a big fan of that album. That's one I don't like listening to, but I will listen to Beautiful, and I will listen to Underground. That's about it. Maybe Crack a Bottle. So Relapse coming in 11th place. Number 10, Revival. Now, this album, I think, over time will become more popular. It's not that bad. For Eminem standards, maybe not as good as other Eminem albums, obviously, but it's actually fun to listen to. There's a few good tracks that I actually like on that particular album. Just to name a few, I really like River, Bad Husband, and Nowhere Fast. Like Home was okay. I mean, it's a big political message by Eminem, and that's what he gives everybody in that. I think that's why a lot of people didn't like the album, but I happen to like it. I can enjoy it. I can play it from beginning to end and not be too upset with it. Unlike Relapse, where I can't stand it until the end of the album when the good songs, Beautiful and Underground, go off. So that's why Revival, and I do believe over time this will become more popular. Probably not that much more popular considering all the other stuff he has out, but Revival, 10th place. And here is one of the surprises on this list. When I initially did this list in February of 2020, this album was in the top 5. Listening to it again, which on this particular re-listening, I actually listened to every album. And I'm sorry to say, I like all these albums I'm about to name. Relapse I don't like. Revival is okay. All these other ones, they kind of are good. But Recovery is going to come in at number 9. It has some good tracks on it. Don't get me wrong. But the tracks that are on it, for the most part, aren't super memorable compared to other Eminem albums. I really like No Love. That's the standout track on this album to me. Cinderella Man is good as far as like a motivational song. And then, of course, I like Talking to Myself, which is good. I used to like Not Afraid, and it's still okay, but it doesn't really say much. It's just kind of a poppy song that he made. And there's other ones on the album, but other than No Love, nothing really stands out. And I used to love this album, and I still like it. It's not as good as everything else. So surprisingly, Recovery is going to come in at number 9. Now, number 8, this, I don't remember the placement of this before, but I think it was around the same spot, and that would be the Marshall Mathers LP2. I like tracks off this album. There's also tracks that I'm kind of iffy on. Better than, obviously, Relapse, but it could have been a lot better. And I think it's a decent album, though. But obviously, Headlights, I really enjoyed that song, even though it talks about Eminem not really wanting to talk about cleaning out my closet anymore, which is one of my favorite songs that Eminem has done. Headlights, I love it. Rap God, obviously Rap God is a classic. And then I also like Monster. I know it's kind of a Rihanna poppy song, but it's catchy as hell. It's fun. It gets me motivated. It gets me geeked. You know, it is what it is. But Marshall Mathers LP2, it's coming in 8th place. Coming in at number 7, our newest addition to the Eminem albums ranked. And this album could go way up. It could have went as high as 5. I kept it at 7 because it didn't leave a huge impression on me at first, but I still really like it. And that would be Music to Be Murdered By, Side B. I enjoy the album. Now, my roommate, who's a huge rap fan in general, where I'm kind of just an Eminem guy, to be honest with you. I mean, I listen to other stuff, but Eminem, oh, this other stuff, yeah, okay, back to Eminem. He doesn't like it. He, in fact, hates it. And some of the songs lyrically are good, but he says they're kind of corny. I don't agree. A lot of YouTubers that I listen to like this album or like the songs from the album, but I don't know. I put it in the middle of the pack because I really enjoy it, but it could go up, you know, in future videos depending on what I think of it. Favorite songs from the album, I really like Guns Blazin'. Of course, Killer is fun to listen to. And then Nat was hilarious. There's other songs I really like on it too, but I'm only going to just name 3 off the album just because we don't have time to name all the songs off the album. So, Music to Be Murdered By, Side B, slots in at number 7. Number 6, an album that actually went up. It was lower ranked before, but I re-listened to it. Kamikaze. Now, initially when I did this video, I gave Kamikaze a lower ranking because of the lack of tracks on the album. But the tracks that are on the album are fire. They're good. And this is an album that my roommate really liked. And I had to re-listen to it. Like, why does he like this a lot? And now I agree. This album is pretty good. In the middle of the pack, but could get better as time goes on. I obviously like Lucky You. Great song. Not like this song about, he brings up MGK, like that one. And then Stepping Stone, him kind of talking about how he got big and his members of D12 didn't do so well. And then, of course, Proof Dying, which really sucks. So, Kamikaze comes in at number 6. Number 5 is going to be the Slim Shady LP. His first major studio release. I'm back and forth on this particular album. When I first heard it back in probably 2000, I know it came out in 99, but I didn't start listening to Eminem until 2000. It was okay. But I realize over time that this album is great, but it's not my favorite. It's kind of right in the middle. Music to Even Be Murdered By Side B, Kamikaze, and Slim Shady LP are kind of grouped together. At any point in time, they could flip-flop depending on what month it is. But obviously, I really like Guilty Conscience. Rock Bottom was always one of my favorites, and then I like Just Don't Give a Fuck. There's other tracks on there that I enjoy, like If I Had, but I'm just going to kind of focus on 3. Slim Shady LP, that's your number 5. And remember, when you're done listening to this video, make sure in the comment section that you rank all of them if you can. I respect everybody's opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but obviously I took the time to do the video. If you're going to take the time to watch it, you might as well comment. If you want to smash the like button, that'd be great too. So just a reminder on that. Number 4, an album that skyrocketed from the last video, and that would be Encore. Now, when I ranked Encore before, I think I based it off of how great Eminem's show was, and Encore just didn't sound the same. But Encore has lots of great tracks on it, and they're tracks that I can listen to and not change track or do anything else during the track. I mean, there's millions of songs, well, not millions, but there's a lot of songs I do like on it. Yellow Brick Road was always one of my favorites. Likes Toy Soldiers is good. And the song Encore with 50 Cent and Dr. Dre are my favorites. But there's other songs that are just as good as those, like 3 to 4 other ones. This album just kind of grew over time, but it's a really good album. Especially if you include the bonus tracks on the album, like We As Americans and Love You More. That makes the album even better. For purposes of this video, though, I'm not going to include those. And my nose is itching, by the way, in case you're wondering. So, Encore, number 4, great album. You include the bonus tracks that are on there, even better. But I'll leave it at number 4. Number 3 in all these top 3 albums of Eminem's, they're all close. It's really hard to rank the top 3. This one, at the moment, is, I think, perfect for the 3 spot. And a lot of people would put this as their favorite Eminem album. I'm not going to, but it's going to be the Marshall Mathers LP. This is a classic. This is the first Eminem album that I was introduced to, and my favorite track on the album, and my favorite Eminem track of all time, of course, The Way I Am. Love that song. Real Slim Shady is great as well. And then, of course, you have the track Kim, which I really like for different reasons. And there's a bunch of other tracks that I really like on this album. It's a classic, but it's only my number 3. And nose itches again. Stupid nose. Here's a tough one. Ranking number 2. Number 2 and number 1 are so close. And it's one of those things, at any point in time, they could change. It's the same as my initial video. I'm going to put my number 2 album of Eminem's, The Eminem Show. And I used to love this album, and I still love the album. It's just not my favorite anymore. And I've already said, I love the track Cleaning Up My Closet. I also like Without Me, Superman, and almost every track on that album I enjoy. It's a fun album to listen to, but it's only my number 2. So by process of elimination, you already know what my favorite Eminem album is. Or if you've already watched my previous Eminem video, you already know what that is. And that would, of course, be Music to Be Murdered By, Side A. Just like the Eminem Show, it's an album that I can put in and not even have to really skip a track. I really enjoy it. I love the Godzilla song. That is awesome. Rest in peace, Juice WRLD. What a phenomenal song. And how fast Eminem goes on that track is amazing. But I also like Those Kind of Nights with Ed Sheeran. It's catchy. Lyrically, is it the best? Probably not, but it's just catchy. I enjoy the hell out of it. It's a club banger, that's for sure. I'll play it any place that I can go to the jukebox and play it. You can count on that. And then I really like No Regrets as well. Another fun track to hear. I like the beats on this album. It's like Eminem got different beats than he normally does. So that's my number one. Again, you probably won't agree with me. It's just the way I see it. And at any point in time, when I do this video again, when M comes out with another album, I might change my opinion. But as it stands right now, Music to Be Murdered By, Side A, is number one. So let's recap, just in case you weren't paying attention. Number 11, Relapse. That will never go past 11. There might be albums that he does that are worse than that, but that's not moving away from 11. I just don't like Relapse at all. The sound, the accents at the almost through the whole album, just they don't do anything for me. Number 10, Revival. I think over time that'll get better. Maybe not on my list, but it's an album that I can listen to. Number 9, Recovery. Can't believe I ranked that low, but it is what it is. Number 8, Marshall Mathers LP 2. Number 7, Music to Be Murdered By, Side B. Number 6, Kamikaze. Number 5, the original Slim Shady LP. Number 4, Encore. Number 3, the Marshall Mathers LP. Number 2, the Eminem Show. And number 1, Music to Be Murdered By, Side A. So there is my list. You heard it. And remember the 3 songs I really like. I Need a Doctor, Kill Shot, and Homicide with Logic. Enjoy all those. Remember to leave your ranking in the comments section. And if you want me to include Infinite on the next ranking of Eminem's albums, I'll do that. But I need at least 10 of you to comment that. I've only heard a few tracks from it, and it's a different sound. But if a lot of you demand it, I'll certainly take it under advisement and probably include it in the next one. But I need people to tell me about it. And then smash the like button if you're an Eminem fan. And don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. Join the team. Show your damn support. And JDev will return.